In a small corner of southeastern France stands a monument so strange, so fantastical, it seems to have sprung from the pages of a dream. It is a palace built not by kings or architects, but by the hands of a humble postman. This is the incredible story of Ferdinand Cheval and his Palais Idéal, a testament to the power of a single, obsessive vision. Our story begins not with a grand design, but with a stumble. Joseph Ferdinand Cheval was born in 1836 into a poor farming family. He led an ordinary, unremarkable life, becoming a rural postman in the village of Hauterives. For years, his days were defined by the rhythm of his 20-mile mail route, a monotonous trek through the French countryside. Then, one day in April 1879, everything changed. Cheval, then 43 years old, tripped over a stone. But it was no ordinary stone. Its shape was so peculiar, so sculptural, that it sparked something in him. He picked it up and took it home. The next day, he returned to the same spot and found more stones, each one more beautiful than the last. He felt as if they were works of art, sculpted by water and time. A dream that had long lain dormant was awakened. He would build a palace, a fairy tale castle, from the stones he found on his route. And so began one of the most extraordinary undertakings in the history of art. For the next 33 years, Ferdinand Cheval's life was consumed by this singular passion. His daily mail round became a treasure hunt. He started by carrying stones in his pockets, then in a basket, and finally, he pushed a wheelbarrow along his entire route, collecting the raw materials for his masterpiece. Every evening, after his long day of walking, his real work began. By the light of an oil lamp in his vegetable garden, this humble postman transformed into a master builder, an architect of dreams. He had no formal training, no architectural knowledge. His inspiration came from the nature he observed every day, from the postcards he delivered from faraway lands, and from the illustrations in the magazines that passed through his hands. Slowly, miraculously, his palace began to take shape. He worked alone, binding the stones together with lime, mortar, and cement. He built grottos and towers, sculpted giants, fairies, and exotic animals. He carved inscriptions and poems into the walls. The palace became a fusion of different styles and influences, a fantasy world born from one man's imagination. There were elements of a Hindu temple, an Arab mosque, a medieval castle, and a Swiss chalet, all blended into a unique organic whole. He dedicated his creation to his daughter Alice, whom he adored. Tragically, Alice died at the age of 15, a devastating blow that only strengthened his resolve to complete his monument in her honor. He endured personal tragedy, the ridicule of his neighbors, who called him a madman, and the sheer physical exhaustion of his labor. Yet he never faltered. For 33 years, he toiled. He spent 93,000 hours, carried countless wheelbarrows of stones, and bound them with 3,500 sacks of lime. Finally, in 1912, his work was done. The Palais Idéal was complete, a sprawling, intricate structure, 85 feet long and over 30 feet high. But Cheval's creative drive was not yet exhausted. He wished to be buried in his palace, but French law forbade it. Undeterred, he spent another 8 years building his own mausoleum in the local cemetery, a smaller but equally elaborate tomb he called the Tomb of Silence and Endless Rest. He finished it in 1922, just 2 years before his death at the age of 88. For decades, the Palais Idéal was regarded as little more than a bizarre local curiosity, but it was eventually discovered by artists like André Breton and Pablo Picasso, who recognized it as a masterpiece of art brut or outsider art. They saw in Cheval's work a pure, unadulterated creative spirit, free from the constraints of academic rules. In 1969, the French Minister of Culture, André Malraux, declared the palace a national cultural landmark, ensuring its preservation. Malraux called it the only representative of naïve architecture, a monument born from a dream. Today, the Palais Idéal stands as a beloved tourist attraction, drawing visitors from all over the world who come to marvel at its strange beauty. It is a powerful reminder that art can be found in the most unexpected places, and that an ordinary life can produce something truly extraordinary. Ferdinand Cheval, the humble postman, proved that with perseverance and a powerful dream, even a simple man can build a castle.